Hey, fifth grade. So we're going to be starting our optical illusion cube with this paper. So you want to make sure you have the isometric worksheet that was either sent home or you can print it with the PDF that was attached to the Google Classroom page. So you do want to have a pencil and a ruler, and make sure when you start that you have the copyright worksheet at the bottom of your paper. I'm going to zoom in towards the top here. We want to find the starting point, which would be in the second row, and this dot right here in the middle. There should be 3 dots on each side of your paper. Now when we make our lines, you want to make sure that you are using a ruler to try to keep your lines straight, and each dot should be hit as the line passes through it. So we're going to start by counting out 6 dots diagonal. Don't count the one we started on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should take you right to the edge of your paper. So you want to make a straight line. Try that again. And we're going to go down diagonally the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should take you to the other edge of the paper as well. Now feel free to pause and rewind this video if you need to. Okay, now we're going to go on to the side here where we ended off. We're going to count down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this outer hexagon we were making, you're going to be using 6 if you didn't figure that out. Now if you're on track, you should have about 5 dots unused underneath. Okay, now we're going to go in diagonally. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go diagonally up the other direction, and it should connect to where we ended off. So if you did it correctly, you should have 2 unused dots underneath. Alright, now we're going to go back up to our starting point. So we're going to go down 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. And make a vertical line. Then we're going to go diagonally, 1, 2, 3. So before we're using 6, now we're using 3. And we're going to go diagonally down this way, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go down 3. So we're making another hexagon, except it's towards the interior. And down diagonally 3. And then up diagonally 3, and then 1, 2, 3 should connect to the other side. Should look like this. You should have a row of 2 dots all the way around. Okay, we have one vertical line here. We're going to skip this upper left corner. We're going to go to the lower left, and we're going to make a diagonal line going across. Skip the bottom one, and then go to the lower right, make a diagonal line. Alright, now we're going to go to the inside of that hexagon. We're going to go into this upper left-hand corner. We're going to go in diagonally, 1, 2, 3. Take you right in the middle of that hexagon. Then we're going to go up diagonally, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then finally, we're going to make one vertical line going straight down. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we have the first part done. You might want to take a break. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is to make our parallel lines. So if you look at the edge of our hexagon, you might notice that it goes at an angle. Now we're going to do just this section at a time. and we're going to make a diagonal line that goes parallel. So it gets to be a little tricky because you'll be covering up your dots. So if you have to use your ruler and use the edge of your ruler a little further out so you can keep your lines straight, that's not a bad idea. So I want to make my next set of lines. We're all parallel with that edge of my hexagon. Okay, this next row will have two shorter lines that should come right off the edge of that cube. And our last one for this section. Oops. Happens if you don't use a ruler. Alright, now the next set of lines are going to go vertical. You can tell by looking at the edge of the hexagon, it goes up and down. Again, if you need to, use your ruler on the outside edge of those dots. I think it's kind of tricky to see, so if you have to line things up, keep all your lines straight and parallel. The more straight and parallel that your lines are, the better your illusion will work. This next set will come right off of that box. Again, use your dots to help you keep things lined up. You can't really see my dots anymore because they're covered. So you should have 5 lines only in that section. Now this section, they're going to go diagonally. You should be able to connect up to where you left off in the other section. So you got 5 lines going diagonally down. The next set of lines are going to go vertical. So if you have to, I need to use my other lines to help me keep things straight because otherwise it's hard to tell where they go. Alright, this bottom section, you're going to look at the edge. You can see they go diagonally both ways. So that's the direction that your lines need to go in that section. So 5 lines going across. Crooked. The next set go across this way. So keep your lines really straight and make sure you're using a ruler. And use a pencil first, you can go back and Sharpie afterwards. Alright, now for the inside part, we're going to be making 2 lines going each direction. You should be able to connect with your previous sections. Now if you don't have a ruler, use something straight, whether you have a hardcover book or something that you might have that you can draw a straight line with. We're going to have 2 vertical lines. Again, look at the edge of that shape and see they go vertical. And it should be connecting right up to where you last left off. If it's not connecting up, then you did something wrong. 2 more to go. These are going to go diagonally. Alright, phew. Alright, once you get done drawing all your blocks and grid it out with a pencil, you want to take a black marker and outline it. It doesn't really matter which, if you use a thin or a thick Sharpie. Thick Sharpie can cover up a little bit more pencil lines, but just make sure you don't switch in between if you're using different markers, so that way your line width is consistent. Alright, so at this point I'm going to have you stop, and then you can watch the next video on how to add some color to your cube.